watching Alaska's news source.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Come on in, Alaska. I'm Dave Allgood, Melissa Fry, Chief Meteorologist. We're glad you're here today. And they were eating her out of house and home, but now you can benefit from their appetite. The very organic landscapers that are available to trim your lawn. That's coming up in today's Allgood news story. Fun story, as always. And
I'm very intrigued. We also have a big fishtail for you today. Muskies can grow pretty big, but this is one you can actually walk inside of. We take you to the very eclectic roadside stop in rural Minnesota.
yeah, big fish tail there, and which is actually kind of real, so it's not really a tail at all. But glad you're here, and boy, you are now. Everybody's loving you now. The sun's out.
Well, no, they're not yet. I'm hearing a lot of "I'll believe it when I see it."
Yeah, you get a lot of that. But it's nice outside now. It's finally got some warm weather back, and the rain maybe is going to hold off for the big plans for everybody for the weekend.
Yeah, we're looking at a nice little stretch of weather. You can already believe it because we're seeing the clouds beginning to break up as we speak. More blue sky out there. We'll have a look at that full forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, here are your top 4 headlines at 4. Anchorage police are looking into a death discovered on Flower Street in Mountain View. Police were called to the 700 block of Flower Street this morning to someone reporting the death of a woman. Something they observed caused police to take a closer look at how she died. The crime scene unit responded, but the medical examiner will determine how she died. And the mayor says there are about 775 people living on the streets of Anchorage, and he wants 80 of them to live in a former Midtown hotel. The Anchorage Assembly last night approved some repairs on the former Golden Lion on the corner of 36 and the new Seward Highway. They postponed a vote on an ordinance to lease the building to an operator after a public hearing at the next Assembly meeting on July 25th. They will then also take up a resolution to fund the startup cost of $250,000. Scan the QR code on your screen with your smart camera to read our complete story on those Assembly actions. It's right there. A 62-year-old man was medevaced from a tugboat early Monday morning in Southeast. The Coast Guard Jayhawk crew hoisted the Mickey Hanna's master on board after getting a call from the first mate for help. The 99-foot tug was near Zarimbo Island, just west of Wrangell. The man was then taken to Sitka and was reportedly in stable condition when he was transferred. The first mate was able to navigate the Ketchikan where the tug was headed, according to the Coast Guard. And it's not too soon to start planning for the weekend. The Bear Paw Festival in Eagle River begins tomorrow. This year's theme is Base Camp for Adventure. There will be carnival rides, music, a parade, vendors, and of course, food. Check out the food vendors tomorrow at the Eagle River Town Square Park. The parade starts Saturday at 11 a.m. Look for Alaska's News Source personnel there. They'll even have goat yoga on Sunday. How about that? Well, due to a lack of staffing, J-Bear closed the development center now. Commander David Wilson says a lack of child care providers on base is his #1 challenge. Georgina Fernandez brings us inside the gates with those details. Hey, welcome back. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Melissa, I'm going to say this, and I respect Mother Nature highly, but she's so finicky. You just never know what she's going to do.
Yeah, unless you have, good tools so you can predict what's going to happen here in the next coming days. And we knew we were going to see that warm Wednesday of next week. Those high temperatures are rebounding again, right back up close to 70 degrees.
There you go. My future's so bright, I gotta, wear shades. Thanks, Melissa. A unique diner in the Midwest where once you could eat in the belly of a fish, now a work of art and a tourist destination. The people preserving the giant muskie. Well, you might remember earlier this week, John Lawrenson told us about some concrete pigs in Minnesota.
Well, now he tells us a fishtail. This is about a kitschy fish as big as a diner.
And I think, my dad's from Mankato, my stepfather, my last one. He's from Mankato. But so we'd been there, but I had heard the term. I had heard the term, but I wasn't sure what it was.
Yeah.
What's a muskie?
Apparently it's a fish. I think that the muskie in there in Minnesota and the double muskie in Girdwood should somehow collaborate, have great drinks and fish. And...
Yeah. And I love the way in the story there, he said the teeth were authentic. And I was like, those are real?
Those are real.
Maybe not. All right, moving on. That's pretty cool, by the way. I'll put that on my road trip map. The 1953 film that's being... All right, so you want those farm animals for food, but you want to cut the cost of feeding them. What to do?
Well, you could do what one Anchorage woman did and just put them to work doing what they do best, eating.
Thinking outside the fence.
I guess I kind of call myself an urban homestead farm.
Is nothing new for Megan Wallstead.
Yeah, can you take Eva in too? She needs to check on her puppies.
The mother of 8 is all about self-sustainability.
You need a haircut, don't you?
Yes, 8 children, ages 5 to 18. Let's see in order from left to right. There's Soren, Vigo, Thornball, Bjorn, Gabriel, Whitney, Marcus, and Christian, and bunnies, too. As if 8 wasn't enough.
I'm not edible.
Meg, she wanted more to do, so enter sheep and goats.
It took me a little bit to convince my husband, but thankfully I saw the lambs first, and he's half Australian, so he was like, oh, I like eating lamb.
So it was the food angle. She wanted to teach her kids.
This is really where your meat comes from, and I just get to love them before I eat them.
They are loved and even have appropriate dining names.
They're breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
The sheep were fine. It was the goats that kind of freaked or frogged her out.
And I've always been scared of goats because their eyes remind me of Kermit the Frog.
But she hopped over her fear. But before you can eat these guys, you gotta feed them.
Now, as you can tell, these guys are ravenous and they eat a lot, and that food, well, it ain't cheap. So Meg thought, why don't I just use them as lawnmowers? And so she posted on Nextdoor, and man, it blew up.
It went out of control, and at first I was in total disbelief. I was like,
So Megan had the idea to
hey, would you like my goats and sheep to come mow your yard?
loan her munching brood out to mow and fertilize, so enter social media.
I was like, I want to post on Nextdoor app. And within 24 hours, I had over 3,000 views.
So overnight, these guys went from the pen to free-range nirvana. Oh, there was a little snafu with the first gig.
And they did a beautiful job on her yard. They did take out a prize sunflower, but
How can you not love these faces? Meg isn't sheepish about the realities of those other not-so-meek predators in Alaska.
know that they're livestock, they're not pets. Yes, we love them. Yes, they get spoiled, but if there's a bear, hopefully the bear leaves me some carcass.
So for now, these lamb chops, they've got chomping to do.
They're going to a lady's 1-acre property, I believe, up on the hillside.
So if you don't see them in here,
They're out on a job. They're landscaping.
that's the best-case scenario. The marvelous Mrs. Megan and her magical munching tree.
They got their yard mowed and fertilized all in one go, and they lost a sunflower. So
That's the Allgood News.
Just putting them to work out there. Free lawn mowing. I don't know how trim it looks, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, but it's done. It's done.
done.
They eat
That's
everything by there. They were eating my jacket. They were eating everything. It was crazy. Did you catch those sheep's names? There was breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the other one you did midnight snack was the dark
nice.
one. Yeah. In addition to everything else, Meg also works at Denali Montessori.
Nice. And
Yeah.
as of now, she's not charging to loan out her herd, but she says she will probably start charging a small fee just for gas, and loading and unloading of the sheep and goats probably takes some time.
Yeah, and she wants to give some of those 8 kids some cash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you have a big field or a big area that just needs to be brought down,
Yeah.
it's a good way to
They
do it.
eat everything.
It's great.
All right. Thanks a lot to Megan and her family. That was fun. All right. Now, if you want to hear more good, all good news stories, scan that QR code right there on your screen with your smartphone's camera. Just point your camera at the code, then click the link, and you'll go straight to the All Good portion of our website. Got a year's worth of stories there.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Moving on. Technology helping patients with Lou Gehrig's disease. Here's Nora O'Donnell with what's coming up. His sister has a metabolic disorder called PKU, and he wants to help. So he's raising money for research by climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. Caroline Patrick's talked to the Washington, D.C. teen before he left.
By now, 17-year-old Hudson...
This is advertising with Channel 2 and CBS 5. Contact us for your quote today.
Remember that sweet seal that hopped a ride on a surfboard? Well, Patrick Cornell is about to show us an angry otter stealing a board.
And happy anniversary to the James Webb Telescope. For the last year, it's been showing us space like we've...
My lawn! Sorry, that is the best angry old lady voice I got. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Patrick really went for it.
Oh, yeah. Get out below! Get out below! Well, that's what I was screaming the last week. Rain, go away!
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
and it happened.
I
Here
know.
we are.
It works. You gotta break out that weird voice.
Really lovely conditions out there tonight. Seeing some nice sun breaks and those warm temperatures. And we're going to start out warm tomorrow in the mid-50s. We'll see a few clouds out there, but otherwise some nice sun breaks and warm conditions. Temperatures will continue to push not only into the mid-60s, but we're talking near 70 degrees tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, well, get on outside, everybody. There's no excuses now to get some vitamin D the old-fashioned way with the sun. So, well, let's have a great night. You guys have a great night. Tomorrow's Thursday. Whoop, whoop.